Hi, I'm Melanie from Nova Scotia, Canada, and this is Adventures in Groceryland. This is the first week after the completion of our $21 grocery budget challenge. So I was a little concerned that we might go a bit crazy with groceries, but we didn't. So you'll have to check that out. We did get a substantial amount of treats, more so than what we would normally get. But it's been 14 weeks. So felt good just to be able to get what we wanted, but I also did a big pantry stock. So you'll be able to see that. I'm combining the grocery video and the meal video together this week. We actually ate out 2 times. I told you we're going a bit crazy, but both were really good deals. So Valentine's Day, we did the BOGO Whoppers through the app. Buy a Whopper and get a Whopper free. That was like a Valentine's Day promo that they had. And we were running errands, picking up the dog's prescription one night. And we did the BOGO at Subway. So it was buy a foot-long sub and get a second foot-long sub for $1. Plus, I also had $4 accumulated in points that I was able to redeem against that. So that actually was pretty inexpensive. But there's less videos than there normally are. I wasn't great about taking videos this week, but I did take some. And you will also see the seafood chowder. So I sourced those ingredients over, I'm going to say 3 or 4 weeks. When you have a pricey item that you want to cook, nothing says that you have to blow your whole budget in one shebang. I like to source those ingredients, especially things that are frozen or pantry staples, canned goods, because they last. Anyways, check out what we're able to do this week. The Gustav cheese, you can see here, it's regular $8.29, and they're all marked down to $6.99. They're on sale, they're not marked down, except this was in a little spot up front, and this one was marked down to $4.99, and then they put in another $2 off tag. So we are going to get some $8.29 cheese for $2.99. It's awesome. Just noticed this tag. Scene members save an extra 5% off. So I'm curious if that will come off the $2.99 cheese. The $21 challenge is over. My first week since being limited to the budget, I have done a absolutely horrible job of tracking everything. And by horrible job of tracking everything, I mean this video is uploading tomorrow, and I should have taken this a week ago. So I do have everything set aside. We are missing a few things. We're going to talk about it. I didn't do too bad. I spent $76.43. I also redeemed $10 in PC Optimum points. I took advantage of the Kraft promotion 3 separate times, and I have been fairly focused on buying Canadian things, and I have some items that are on this counter that don't comply with that mentality. So let's just begin. The very first thing that I did is I shopped at Sobeys. I made quite a large purchase, and this is before the flyers switched over last week. The total was actually $43 even. Weird, huh? They had Compliments tomatoes on sale, buy one and get one free. $1.99. So that works out to 99 cents a can. You can see down here in the back there, I did this 5 times. So that was a total of $9.95. And I did have items on the list, but I bought a bunch of treats. There's no way to get around this. There's just a bunch of treats that I bought, and that is mostly what is gone from the counter. The handsome one has been incredibly easygoing and flexible, being on a challenge for 14 weeks, him wanting to eat things that we have in our pantry and in the freezer, me saying, no, it's not on the challenge, and him just saying, okay. So I'm walking down the aisle. I see this humongous cart of markdowns, and it is absolutely full of cereal. And you guys, I think, after watching for this long, have a very good understanding of the handsome one's love for cereal. And and I just wanted to do a big surprise. He didn't know about this, and a big reward for him. And I actually came home with 4 boxes of cereal. Only 2 remain on the counter because he's already eaten 2. So these Lucky Charms, so you see the 50% off on the bottom. These were $4.99 and they were marked down to $2.49. This box of Honey Bunches of Oats, which I can't even believe he hasn't opened this yet. This is a 1.2 kg box. So I don't know if you can see, like, this is triple the width of a regular box of cereal. This was also, I think, on the bottom here. Yep, there's the 50% off. This was regular $14.30, $14.29. And it was 50% off, so it worked out to $7.14. I couldn't leave those there for the reasons that I've previously stated. I'm certain these probably don't comply with what I'm trying to do, Shop Canadian. Actually, the Post might. The Post might, but I'm pretty sure that the General Mills do not. But when I'm buying 4 boxes of cereal, one a jumbo one, I figured I should also come home with a new container of milk. Natrel still happened to be on sale. It was the final week of that sale, and it was on for $5.99. I also bought ice cream, and I bought 2 containers. You only see one here because one of them's already gone. I did buy 2 Chapmans. One was this, actually, maple walnut, and the other one was a frozen yogurt, and it had like little chocolate pieces in it and perhaps caramel or something. Those were on for $4.99 each. And I also bought this cheese because I knew that the previous week I had purchased the charcuterie meats. I couldn't resist this. So it was regular $8 and change, marked down to $4.99. So this was the only brand marked down. So they had marked it down first to try to sell them off, and they didn't. And so then they put these $2 off stickers on them. And I had noticed that they had those little tags on them, an additional 5% off, and it actually did reflect on the receipt. The Gouda worked out to $2.84, so it was an additional 15 cents off. Actually, all the cereals except for the Honey Bunches of Oats, that also applied to them. They were all $4.99, marked down to 50% off, so $2.49. And the Lucky Charms were 13 cents off, so that was $2.36 it totaled. And the other 2 boxes, they were both Cinnamon Toast Crunch. One was like a regular Cinnamon Toast Crunch, and the other one was stuffed with cream cheese or Nutella or something like that. I'm not sure. And those boxes both were 12 cents off. So they worked out to $2.37 each. I just thought it was really interesting that these are applying now. These discounts are applying now. So that first Sobeys shop, that was $43 even. Then the flyers changed over. And the Kraft deal, or the Kraft promotion, is coming to an end. So I've talked about it before. When I was on the challenge, I did take advantage of the Kraft promotion a couple times. I bought cheese slices and split the 5 required with my sister. I got Crave dinners, frozen dinners, which, like, those were a true blessing when we were sick because they didn't require any effort from me. And the Kraft promotion, so that's done now, but what it was is purchase any 5 or more of the participating products. So you could mix and match or buy 5 of one thing and instantly at cash save $10. So when it says 5 or more, that means you save $10 if you buy 5. It means that you save $10 if you buy 6 or 7 or 8 or 9 or 10. Oh, now you're hitting 10. Why wouldn't you do 2 separate transactions if you're buying 10, and then you could save $10 on your first transaction and $10 on your second transaction, totaling $20 saved. And that's what I did. So I bought the Classico pasta sauce, and I actually very, very carefully checked the labels of a bunch of different, of course, that one has the label, of a bunch of different flavors, and they all said on the back, Classico Gourmet Toronto, Ontario. So I thought that was pretty self-evident. Those are from Toronto, though they don't say packaged in Toronto. They just have a Toronto address. So I felt pretty confident buying those. And I had them in my cart, and I was going to go through the cash, and at the last minute, I quick ran back and got 5 of the Alfredos, and I did not check those. And all of the Alfredos, oh, this is on light paper. I don't know if you can see this. Where are we here? These ones were imported by Classico Gourmet, Toronto. So I got them for 97 cents. They were $14.85 for 5. They were on sale on the flyer for $2.97. So the Kraft deal works the best when you can match it up, one of the participating items, with something that's already on sale on the flyer. So you're getting like a double deal. So they were $14.85, and then I saved that $10, which brought them down to $4.85 even. I do have the receipts for both of those, so you can see $2.97. You see that Kraft bundle offer right there at the bottom, $4.85. Same thing over here, $4.85. So that's awesome. Then the peanut butter. So I wasn't originally going to get the peanut butter, and then I was talking it over with the handsome one, and he has a mild obsession / addiction to peanut butter. I know it's never going to go bad in our house, so I guess the neighbor talked about it. Our neighbor talked about it at first. She got the peanut butter, and then I talked it over with the handsome one, and then we decided, you know what? Let's just get 5 of the peanut butters, because it ended up working out to $2.97 a bottle. The peanut butter was on sale in the flyer for $4.97. Bought 5. Works out to $24.85. But you see, I automatically got that Kraft bundle minus $10. So it brought it down to $14.85. $14.85 divided by 5 is $2.97. Really, you just can't go wrong with a 1 kg of peanut butter for $2.97. The handsome one absolutely loves the extra roasted, so I was extremely lucky. I said to him, what do you want me to do? We had some plans with friends, and I was stopping in Sobeys first before we met up with them. I said, what do you want me to do? If they don't have the extra roasted, we were calling it the dark roast. If they don't have the dark roast, do you want me to get another kind? Or do you want me to wait and see if more comes in later in the week? Anyways, when I went in, it didn't really matter, because the shelves were totally jammed full of peanut butter, every single flavor available. So that was really awesome. Then those are all my Sobeys shops. That's everything from Sobeys. I popped into Superstore because I was looking for strawberries that they had. It was a 2-day sale, on sale on the flyer. Walked up, and I was so pleasantly surprised to see a great big sign that said Product of Canada. Right on. I picked them up. As you can see, we've eaten some of them. And I wanted to pick up a chocolate bar to go with the charcuterie board. So you can see we've eaten some of this because it went in the charcuterie board. And then also, I just wanted to have some special cream for my coffee. Haven't had any of that in a while. I really love vanilla flavored coffees, so I thought I would try this Earth Zone. It was much more expensive than what I probably would normally pay, but I had decided to redeem $10 worth of points. And the whole thing, including, I don't know, where are we here? See the second item on the list? See that water? 94 cents. I got into town and I was running errands. I guess the peanut butter was an after the fact thing, that all of the other shops were done before the peanut butter. So I was actually doing just my regular shopping, and I got this Superstore stuff on the day that I got the pasta sauce. And you'll see that I went to Avery's, and it was absolutely, we are still in like a deep chill. It has been, I don't know, like -7 to -20. every day for days, and I always have water in the car. I never thought to check it in advance. It is in an insulated water bottle. It just was so absolutely frigid, freezing cold that my water froze inside the bottle, and I was so thirsty. I very rarely buy drinks or water in town. I did go to the shelf, so instead of like going to the convenience section and trying to buy a small bottle, I thought that I might be able to get a better value for a bigger bottle just on the shelf, like where the juice and the water is kept. And I was right. They actually had a big, large, I'm going to say 1 liter bottle, 1.5 liter bottle. Doesn't say on here what the size is. And it was 94 cents. And I actually still have that in the car, and that's frozen solid now too. I'm horrible. I'm doing horrible at this, guys. This has not been a smooth week for me of keeping everything organized. Anyways, you can see here at the bottom, I did the $10 loyalty redemption, and it ended up costing me $2.41 for all of those items. I was happy about that. I then shopped at Avery's. I bought some stuff, and then I quick bought a couple other things. And I do have the receipt for one, and I don't know where the receipt went for the other one. So they had grapes on sale. It was a great price, $1.44 a pound, and I actually bought a very large bag. Again, kind of thinking in mind that we were doing a charcuterie board, and those were $3.08, and I bought this big red onion, and it was $1.37. The grand total was $4.45. I also bought this cut celery. You can see I've been snacking on it. We've been eating it with peanut butter, and I bought a couple jalapenos. The jalapenos were $1.02. The celery was 99 cents, so the grand total was $2, and so those must have been $1.03 because the grand total was $2.02. And I don't know where the receipt is for that. And then I bought some green onions at Walmart, and they were $1.29. And they are a product of Mexico. That I did happen to check. These grapes are a product of Peru. This was cut. I'm not sure where this came from. And the onion also, I'm not sure. I'm a work in progress. I'm getting there. So the grand total of everything, $76.43, including the 2 missing containers or cereals, 1 missing frozen yogurt. The majority of the grapes are gone. The majority of the strawberries are gone. Oh, yes, long story short, I forgot to say the wah part about the strawberries. So I was very excited, and it's a product of Canada, and I got home and I was putting these away. I should have known to look more carefully, and it was product of USA. This is not devastating to me. I made a couple mistakes. A couple things I didn't even check, like the cereal. Like I said, I'm a work in progress. The majority of the stuff that I'm buying does happen to be a product of Canada, or even more importantly, local to me. This is going to be a work in progress for a lot of people who are looking to kind of transition to this. I think I did okay. After 14 weeks of being on $42, I think that we did a-okay that first week. And I'm happy that I was able to get some treats for the handsome one. And I say the handsome one, I should say for both of us, because I had some of the frozen yogurt, although I did not have any of the cereal. Let me know what you guys think. I'm going to upload this video together in with the meal videos that I took over the past week. The beginnings of Valentine's Day chowder. Keep in mind, there's also going to be carrots, cream, 3.25% milk, and butter. We have the canned lobster, the scallops, the haddock. The handsome one is going to process this. The shrimp, clams, potatoes, and of course, some are savory. I will also use a little bit of flour to thicken the chowder. The handsome one processed the haddock, and we got 11.5 ounces. So almost a pound. This whole amount is going to go in the chowder. First thing, I cut up 3 small potatoes, 1 3/4 carrots. It was that partial piece of carrot that I had left over from before. And an onion. We're going to bring this to a boil. This will be a base inside of the chowder. When you're looking at the ingredients, the lobster is frozen cooked. The shrimp is cooked, but the scallops and the haddock is not cooked. So we are going to fry them with butter, and then they'll be ready to go into the chowder with everything else. Chowder has butter, not margarine. This is non-negotiable. When you're making a chowder, you need to use butter. So we are going to cook the scallops and the haddock in butter. That's going to go into the chowder pot. But then after we've got everything added in together and we've got the cream in, then we will add more butter. I am going to add the haddock in first. The haddock is cooking up great. Woo! And you can see that I have been flaking it as I have been going. I've added in the scallops and a little more butter. You may possibly be wondering about the size. Woo! I want to get in here so that we can see but not have the camera fog up. About the size of the scallops. So if you're not from the East Coast, when you think about scallops, you're probably thinking about very large, maybe 3 to 4 times the size of these, maybe 5 or 6 times the size of these, wrapped in bacon as something that you've bought at a restaurant. These are actually called bay scallops. They're smaller. They're very available to us here on the East Coast, at least definitely in Nova Scotia. I can almost always get them at Sobeys and Superstore, just a regular grocery store. And they work perfect when you just want scallops in a dish. They are much, much dramatically cheaper than the big, large scallops. Taste exactly the same. Potatoes, onion, and carrots are ready. I'm just going to add the scallops and the haddock right into the existing pot. And we're going to go from here. Both my front burners are extremely hot. So before I can move this pot back onto one of the front burners, if I don't want the stuff inside of there to scald to the bottom, I need to get some liquid in. And so we're going to start by adding in the clams. And yes, the whole jar, no draining. Give a little bit of liquid in there. Same thing with the shrimp. And these ones already have the tail off, so that is fantastic. So I'm just going to dump the whole bag in, yes, including anything from when they defrosted. And I'm adding in the lobster. Now remember, this lobster meat I think was minced, so this is going to be the flavor throughout the whole chowder, but no big chunks. That is fine. We are good with that. All right, this is what it looks like so far. Now I need to add the milk and more butter and the summer savory. All right, so now let's add in, this isn't cream, this is 3.25%. Ooh. And we'll let this butter melt in. I'm going to add the summer savory, and then if I need to, I will thicken the chowder just like I'm thickening gravy with a mixture of the milk and a little bit of flour or cornstarch. This stuff is my secret ingredient for real. I feel like in all my important recipes, this is what I use, and I always get so many compliments. I just find that it is just such a great flavor. I love watching the butter that sits on top as I add the butter in. As the chowder heats, I love watching that butter melt. This is my old school Tupperware gravy maker that I got in 1992. So that makes it 30 some years old. I've got the milk and the flour in there already. I'm making quite a thick mixture to start because I don't want to add a lot of extra flour. I want the flour that I'm adding to do the trick. You can see where I've poured that in. I'm just going to stir this up, and that will help this chowder to become nice and thick. All right, our Valentine's Day chowder is ready. Look how good that looks. Can't wait. Valentine's Day chowder. Very exciting. I just wanted to show how nice and thick this is. Seafood chowder for lunch today. This is so good. And there's lots left. We're going to be able... Yesterday we each had 2 of this size bowls. Probably that's going to happen again today. And probably that's going to happen again tomorrow. It's just when you make a big pot of it, you got to eat it up right away. So you're just eating this most delicious thing for multiple days in a row. I have been procrastinating taking the grocery video this week. We are going to eat some of these supplies, so I'm taking this now so we can see what they looked like before. I've got grapes. Yes, we've eaten some of those already. We've got strawberries, a white chocolate bar, and this awesome Gouda cheese. We are going to be eating these tonight. Charcuterie for supper tonight. The boursin cheese was left over from Christmas time. Nothing else there to comment on. Oh yes, this pepper jelly, I snagged this out of my mom's fridge. Sometimes those are the things that you can get away with when you are visiting your parents. So I didn't buy this. I also didn't own this previously. I snagged this from my mom. So we haven't tried it before. We are going to try it tonight for the first time. I have tons of my own pepper jelly, but this is just fun. We'll try this one. And the crackers are pre-challenge crackers. Pretty excited. Looks amazing. Seafood chowder with toasted homemade bread with butter for lunch today. For supper tonight, we are having 2 steak from the freezer. Pulled them out yesterday. Was uncertain if whether we were going to still... For supper, we are going to have steak on the barbecue. We pulled these steaks out of the freezer yesterday and thawed them overnight. We are going to have cut potatoes, and I'm not sure what veggie we're going to have with this meal yet. All right, potatoes cut. I added margarine, so I'm now trying to use up the margarine that we had on the challenge. Salt, pepper, and a little bit of red garlic, and I'm going to add a little bit more, moving some of the potatoes and like getting some of the spice underneath. And now that we have access to our full pantry, on top of the steak, I'm going to use a butcher's block. This is kind of like a Montreal steak blend. I do have 1 bottle of unopened Montreal steak spice, but I want to use up this partial bottle first. Steak, potatoes, and green and yellow beans. I'm going to top my potatoes with some sour cream and some bacon bits because we have bacon bits now. Kind of like a baked potato, but not. This looks amazing. So excited. Toasted tomato sandwiches for lunch today. I am going to add cheese. Looking good. I'm going to get a pickle. Although we have access to our full freezer and full pantry, we don't need to just go to that and exclusively eat out of that. I'm going to combine some of the items together. So we have the pancake mix, and we're going to use the leftover blueberries and the bananas in that. We have hash browns that were in our previous supplies, and we have bacon. We took that out of the freezer this morning. It was frozen. So we are going to have breakfast for supper. Yay. First, I am going to mash up these 2 bananas. I know I talk about food waste a lot, but I'm going to talk about it again. These blueberries may not be in pristine condition anymore for on a yogurt parfait. I may not want to eat them fresh, but they are absolutely, totally fine. You see just a little bit of wrinkles in some of them in blueberry pancakes because they're going to be cooked. So I'm very excited about this. This is a way for me to use up these berries before they go bad. Other suggestions I could have done, I could have thrown them in a smoothie. I could have popped them in a freezer bag and put them in the freezer, but we're going to add them right into this batter. And here they go. The bananas are mashed in here. The berries are in here now. It's perfect. Perfect way to use these up. We are cooking the hash browns and the bacon in the oven, and they are getting to the point where it's soon time for us to start the pancakes. Well, this looks like it's going to be a giant, delicious pancake, and did I say giant? These look amazing. Pancakes, the bacon, the hash browns, and I like my bacon nice and crispy. The handsome one did all of this. Let's get it plated up. This looks amazing. This is the handsome ones. This one's mine. I'm going to add ketchup, of course. Looks so good. We love breakfast for supper. We have these 2 leftover hamburger buns. So I dug around the freezer. I knew we had some fish burgers in there, and we are each going to have a fish burger for lunch. Simple lunch. I threw the fish burgers in the air fryer for 10 minutes. They came out great. I am going to make some tartar sauce. And so the interesting thing about having a really good pantry is we've been out of mayo on the challenge for several weeks now. But I didn't have to go out and buy mayo because I had mayo in the pantry. So now that we have access to the pantry, I just took one of those mayos out and opened it. I'm also going to use this dill relish and mustard to make a quick tartar. So I added in a little bit of the relish, a little bit of the mustard. We'll grab some mayo here. We don't need too much of this. We'll mix this up. Of course, one-handed is not easy. I might add a little bit more relish, and then we'll have a good tartar sauce for on the burgers. This looks fantastic. Let's get it right on. Probably made a little too much, maybe. I'm going to ask the handsome one if he wants anything else. We do have some iceberg lettuce, so we could add that. Looking good. You can see ketchup on the bottom of mine. We have a lot of supplies kicking around that predated the challenge. So I dredged up these mini tortilla shells, and I thought, what can we use these for? So I thought maybe we could use them as mini tuna wraps and also have an apple split between us for lunch today, or if the handsome one wants a whole one, he can certainly have a whole one. I just don't want a whole one, which is why I always try to split with him. I am going to add mayo and also some lemon dilly. This took me about 3 minutes to put together. So meals don't need to be elaborate. They can be very simple and easy and still tasty and filling. Apples. For supper, we are going to make chicken, bacon, Alfredo. I thawed out 2 chicken breasts. That's going to be way more than what we need. But we have, I actually think this might be linguine in this container down here. But whatever it is, that's what we're using. And this is some Alfredo sauce that I had in the cupboard and some bacon bits. The handsome one cooked the chicken breast for me, and he also thought to cook the last of the mushrooms. That's great. This is done much earlier. I need to get the pasta on now. Pasta's done cooking. I'm adding in some butter because, yeah, butter just makes everything better. Everything's better with butter. I also like alliteration and think I'm hilarious. So I've opened the jar. I'm just dumping this right in. The pasta is already warm. So once I stir this in, the sauce will become warm too. And then I will I think I'm going to add the chicken and bacon on each individual plate. Of course, to get every last bit out of the bottle, I'm just going to add a little bit of milk in here, shake it up, and then pour that back into the pot. Chicken bacon Alfredo smells delicious, looks great. Garnished it with a little bit of green onions. It's fun. And I added the bacon and the chicken right on top. You can see more of the chicken maybe on this one. It really was a good week. Even though we didn't have everything to show in the grocery video because I delayed so long in making it, you still got the general idea of what we were able to get. And the dollar value wasn't that crazy. That's like right in the middle of, like, we typically spend $60 to $80. It's right in the middle of that 60 to 80. So I'm happy with that. Let me know what you think. And there was a time before where I had said, hey, everybody, I'm thinking of doing a Q&A. Send me your questions. And I accumulated a bunch of questions and I never actually put together a Q&A. So I was thinking that this is there's no time like the present to perhaps actually do what I said I was going to do. But that gives some opportunity for everybody. If you have some questions or if there's anything that you'd like to know, leave it as a comment. And I will do my best to include all the questions.